This episode is sponsored by Audible. Audible is the leading provider of spoken word entertainment and audiobooks, and they have over 100,000 titles available for download. Visit audibletrial.com/The Skald Circle to begin your trial and download your free audiobook today. It's time to relax, grab a drink, pull up a chair by the hearth, and have a seat in the Skald Circle to listen to the tale of the Golden Ball from English folklore, as told by Mynogan. Before we begin our story, we wanted to remind you that we release new tales for free every week. Our shorter tales release on Wednesdays, and our longer chapter stories release on every other Saturday. Find out where you can hear them on our website at thescaldcircle.com. And be certain to subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podbean, Spotify, or whatever your favorite podcast app is. That way, you'll never miss out on one of our enchanting tales from around the world. In addition to our reminder, we have some exciting news for the month of July. You've likely noticed that our format sounds a bit different. Not only that, but you may have heard, in addition to our story releases on Wednesdays, we will also now be releasing longer, chapter-length stories on every other Saturday. As if that isn't exciting enough, starting on July 9th, we will begin hosting Fireside Stories with the Skald Circle at 7 p.m. Central Time, every other Thursday. Our Fireside Stories will be a live stream of Casimir and I regaling you with tales that you may have never heard before, along with some of our witty banter. So if you want to experience what a live show from the Skald Circle is like, that may be of interest to you. You can find out more details under the events section on our website. Now then, without further ado, this is The Golden Ball. Once upon a time, there lived two lasses who were sisters. And as they came from the fair, they saw a right handsome young man standing at the house door before them. They had never seen such a handsome young man before. He had gold on his cap, gold on his finger, gold on his neck, and gold at his waist. And he had a golden ball in each hand. He gave a ball to each lass, saying she was to keep it. But if she lost it, she was to be hanged. Now the youngest of the lasses lost her ball, and this is how. She was by a park paling, and she was tossing her ball, and it went up and up and up, till it went fair over the paling. And when she climbed to look for it, the ball ran along the green grass, and it ran right forward to the door of a house that stood there. And the ball went into the house, and she saw it no more. So she was taken away to be hanged by the neck till she was dead, because she had lost her ball. But the lass had a sweetheart, and he said he would go and get the ball. So he went to the park gate, but 'twas shut. Then he climbed the railing, and when he got to the top of it, an old woman rose up out of the ditch before him, and said that if he wanted to get the ball, he must sleep 3 nights in the house. So he said he would. Well, when it was evening, he went to the house, and looked everywhere for the ball, but he could not find it, nor anyone in the house at all. But when night came on, he thought he heard bogles moving about in the courtyard. So he looked out of the window, and sure enough, the yard was full of them. Presently, he heard steps coming upstairs, so he hid behind a door, and was as still as a mouse. Then in came a big giant 5 times as tall as the lad, and looked around, but seeing nothing, he went out to the window, and bowed himself to look out. And as he bowed on his elbows to see the bogles in the yard, the lad stepped behind him, and with one blow of his sword he cut him in twain, so that the top part of him fell in the yard, and the bottom part remained standing, looking out of the window. Well, there was a great cry from the bogles when they saw half the giant come tumbling down to them, and they called out, "There comes our master! Give us the other half!" Then the lad said, "It's no use of thee, thou pair of legs standing alone at the window. As thou hast no eye to see with, so go join thy brother." And he cast the lower part of the giant after the top part. Now when the bogles had gotten all of the giant, they were quiet. Next night, the lad went to sleep in the house again, and this time a second giant came in at the door. And as he came in, the lad cut him in twain. But the legs walked on to the fire, and went straight up the chimney. "Get this, go get thee after thy legs," said the lad to the head entertainment, and he cast the other half of the giant up the chimney. Now the third night, nothing happened. So the lad got into bed, circle. But before he went to sleep, he heard the bogles striving under his bed. And he wondered what they were at. So he peeped Facebook page and saw that they had the ball there, and they were playing with it, casting it to and fro. Now after a time, one of them thrust his leg out from under the bed, and quick as anything, the lad brings his sword down and cuts it straight off. Then another bogle thrust his arm out the other side of the bed, and in a twinkling, the lad cuts that off too. So it went on, till at last he had maimed them all, and they all went off crying and wailing and forgot the ball. Then the lad got out of bed, found the ball, and went off at once to seek his true love. Now the lass had been taken to York to be hanged. She was brought out on the scaffold, and the hangman said, "Now, lass, thou must hang by the neck till thou beest dead." But she cried out, "Stop, stop! I think I see my mother coming. Oh, mother, hast thou brought my golden ball and come to set me free?" And the mother answered, "I've neither brought thy golden ball, nor come to set thee free, but I have come to see thee hung upon this gallows tree." Then the hangman said, "Now, lass, say thy prayers, for thou must die." But she said, "Stop, stop! I think I see my father coming. Oh, father, hast thou brought my golden ball and come to set me free?" And the father answered, "I've neither brought the golden ball, nor come to set thee free, but I've come to see thee hang upon this gallows tree." Then the hangman said, "Hast thee done thy prayers? Now, lass, put thy head into the noose." But she answered, "Stop, stop! I think I see my brother coming." And again she sang her little verse, and her brother sang back the same words. And so it was with her sister, her uncle, her aunt, and her cousin. But they all said the same. "I've neither brought thy golden ball, nor come to set thee free, but I've come to see thee hung upon the gallows tree." Then the hangman said, "I will no longer stop thus making game of me. Thou wilt be hung at once." But now, at long last, she saw her sweetheart coming through the crowd. So she cried to him, "Stop, stop! I see my sweetheart coming. Sweetheart, hast thou brought my golden ball and come to set thee free?" Then her sweetheart held up her golden ball and cried, I have brought to thee thy golden ball, and come to set thee free. I've not come to see thee hung upon this gallows tree." So he took her home, then and there, and they lived happily ever after. And that is the tale of the golden ball from English folklore. Thank you for listening to our story. If you enjoyed it, we recommend taking a look at our Patreon page as noted in the description below. You can earn great rewards while also supporting us to keep these stories alive for future generations to come. Also remember to subscribe to us on your podcast application and leave us a 5-star rating if you enjoyed the story. A special thank you to Kat for their support this month. Without your contribution, we wouldn't be able to continue these stories, and we truly appreciate it. Visit thescaldcircle.com to stay up to date with all of our current events, news, and much more. Not only that, but you can also visit our story archive of every tale we have told. It's sorted by origin and region for the convenience of your listening pleasure. Thank you for listening to our story. Don't forget, this episode is sponsored by Audible, the leading provider of spoken word entertainment and audiobooks. While this story is over, you can still visit audibletrial.com/thescaldcircle to begin your trial and download your free audiobook today. Let us know what you've listened to recently on Audible via our Facebook page. We're always looking for new recommendations.